How does a king rise from grief to reclaim a fractured kingdom? In 2 Samuel 19, David's mourning threatens to undo the very victory his army had just won. Word spread quickly that the king was weeping and mourning for Absalom. The triumph of battle turned into quiet shame. The soldiers slipped back into the city as men ashamed after fleeing from battle. David had covered his face and cried aloud, "Oh, my son Absalom! Oh, Absalom, my son, my son!" Joab entered the house and confronted the king boldly. He told David that his public grief was humiliating the very men who had saved his life and the lives of his family. "Now go out and encourage your men," Joab warned, "or not a man will remain with you by nightfall." David listened. He rose and took his seat at the city gate. When the people were told, they gathered before him. Meanwhile, across Israel, confusion spread. The tribes debated among themselves. They remembered that David had delivered them from their enemies, yet Absalom had rebelled and died. Why should they hesitate to bring the king back? David sent word to Zadok and Abiathar, the priests, to speak to the elders of Judah. "Why should you be the last to bring the king back?" he asked. He also promised Amasa, who had led Absalom's army, that he would replace Joab as commander. The hearts of the men of Judah were won over, and they invited David to return. As the king crossed the Jordan at Gilgal, several figures from earlier chapters appeared. Shimei, son of Gera, who had cursed David when he fled, hurried down with 1,000 men from Benjamin. He fell before the king and confessed his wrongdoing. Abishai again asked permission to execute him, but David refused. "Today no one will be put to death in Israel," he said. David swore to Shimei that he would not die. Then Mephibosheth, the son of Jonathan, came to meet the king. His appearance showed signs of neglect. He had not cared for his feet or trimmed his beard since David left Jerusalem. He explained that Ziba had deceived him and slandered him before the king. David, perhaps weary of disputes, divided the land between Mephibosheth and Ziba. Mephibosheth responded that he was content simply that the king had returned safely. Barzillai the Gileadite also came to escort David across the Jordan. He had provided supplies during David's exile. David invited him to come live in Jerusalem, but Barzillai declined due to his old age. Instead, he asked that Chimham go in his place. David agreed, but unity was fragile. Soon men of Israel confronted the men of Judah, accusing them of taking exclusive charge of bringing the king back. Harsh words were exchanged. What began as restoration quickly revealed lingering division. The kingdom had been restored, but not fully healed. Next comes 2 Samuel 20, where another rebellion rises, led by Sheba, son of Bichri.